Hello YouTube, it's your boy, the Passport Bro Wingman, coming at you again with another YouTube video. And the topic of this video is which haters are the biggest threat to the Passport Bros. And I've been thinking about this a lot lately because of the whole Austin Holloman situation and with the woman Stephanie down in Brazil. And so I wanted to kind of describe a few of our haters and then kind of give my opinion on why I think which one is the worst one. So on one end you have to some degree the dating coaches, and not all of them. Some of the dating coaches are pretty cool. There's a guy I listen to still named like AMS. He has some pretty good gems in general. And as I've always told people, it's not like when you go to these countries you completely forget about the vice of most common men, including some of the dating coaches, such as doing things such as just being assertive, standing your ground, not letting the woman run over you, that kind of thing. Now, these dating coaches, generally, I don't have any issue with. The ones I have an issue with are the ones who mainly have an issue with us traveling because of monetary reasons. Because there are a lot of them that basically are making their living off YouTube. So when they see men getting their passports and they're leaving and they're no longer buying their $1,000 courses, going to clubs, and picking up women with them for like $1,000, it's kind of hurting their bottom line. So as a result, a lot of these men are getting desperate, and they're doing things like they're popping up in our comment section, saying the most negative stuff, kind of doing stuff similar to a lot of the women who are on TikTok saying some of the most negative things, about us. And my whole thing is as I've always stated before, at the end of the day, if all of us are leaving, that just leaves more women for them. So I would just feel like they should be somewhat happy that now they have a bigger pool of women to choose from, because a lot of the Passport Bros, including myself, have kind of opted out and we've chosen to go overseas. So that leaves more room for them. But for some reason, they just can't leave us alone. They want to say all types of stuff like you're corny, your tricks, you guys ain't got no swag, you need to better yourself, do all the stuff like that. But my reply always to that overall is all you got to do is really just pay attention to the latest stuff that happened in the news. You had Tom Brady. He one of the most alpha men in the country, tall, athletic. Most women say he's handsome, $1 million a year. And then his wife is complaining because he's not spending enough time at home because he has to go out and make money playing football. But she's complaining about that, giving him ultimatums, and ultimately left him for a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coach who probably isn't making a tenth of what Tom Brady is making. So most people look at that and they say, okay, do I really want to better myself to be like that only for the wife I've quote unquote earned from bettering myself, for her to just leave me, take half of my stuff? It's just a bad look. And you see this repeated over and over again with so many celebrity men right now getting half of their stuff taken. As I said before, you had Jeff Bezos, one of the most richest men in the world. His girlfriend disrespected him right in front of him, flirting with Leonardo DiCaprio right in front of his face. So it's just bad overall. So you have, so that's my whole thing with the dating coaches. I just think that while they are a hater, they're not the biggest hater, only because to some degree, we kind of branched off from them. As I said before, they do have some truth to some of the things they're saying. And there are a few that I still like and follow. Like I said, I really do like AMS. And to be honest, he's one of the more, the closest to a supporter we probably could have. I mean, because to some degree, he even admitted that when he deals with the Brazilian women, like the foreign women here, he noticed that they tend to be a little bit more cooperative. So, so there are some that are pretty cool. I don't have any issue with. So that's why I said they're not necessarily the biggest haters, but there's a percentage of them that, are just kind of a little bit outrageous with their lack of support. So, you have those. Then you also have these simps. You got these simps out here. And the reason the simps are bad is because you would think by the men leaving, a lot of women would look at that and say, okay, why are all these men leaving? That means that maybe I should reevaluate myself, see what's going on, change my behavior. But the problem is, if you got dudes hopping in their DMs saying that they're the best woman in the world, sending them thousands of dollars on OnlyFans. When they see women like Sierra, even though she's married, twerking online, they're still liking her photos. Tia was the woman from Tia and Tamara or whatever. She actually broke up with her husband, and people try to ask, like, what did he do? He literally did nothing. But she wants to break up with him because she wants to be back out there on the streets, flirting with guys and getting guys to be in her DMs because she actually enjoys that. So she would rather do that than be with her husband. Versus if all the simps left her alone, it would actually cause her to kind of reevaluate her decisions and actually get her to come to her common sense. Because all that's going to happen is when she gets 50, 60 years old and no one's checking for her, she's going to look back and look at this husband that she left, and she's going to like regret a lot of that. So the simps are kind of like, they're keeping a lot of the women from coming to pretty much to lead this delusional mindset. You have that. The other problem with the simps as well is that a lot of them are like, it's very annoying in that when we're trying to help them, it's kind of like that person who's on drugs. You're trying to let them know they're on drugs and this is not good for them, and they're getting snappy with you. I know what I'm doing. I don't need you and that kind of stuff. But you can see they're hurting. It's kind of like that. So they have same thing. They're on TikTok saying some negative stuff too. It's not just the women on TikTok. It's them as well. So you have those. So they're pretty bad as well. I'm not going to say they're the worst, but they're pretty bad. They're actually worse than the dating coaches, because at least the dating coaches, you can kind of see why they might be like thirsting for some of the women, because they're actually having a good time. But for these simps who basically being exploited, it doesn't make sense why they would be siding with them. So you have those. And next to that will be, and there's actually two groups. I'm going to kind of tie them together so I don't keep the video too long. So you have, of course, the TikTok women, and then you have the feminists. And they're kind of the same thing. They both, to some degree, very, very close. Difference with the feminists is they may more so have like a little bit more leverage. Sometimes they might be like, for example, this Stephanie woman in Brazil. She actually has a big following, and she kind of works alongside like the media, that kind of thing. So that's why they tend to be a little bit more, more annoying. Out of the whole bunch, I would say they're probably the most annoying, quote unquote, the biggest threat, though a lot of their attempts are not going to really last. Similarly, in Sweden, there was a governor there, was a female feminist. She was the governor there. And she tried to block the men from bringing their Thai women into the country because there was so many men doing it. But it kind of fell flat because technically that's a form of discrimination. You can't block, someone from coming to the country just because they come from a certain background. Especially a lot of these men are like servicemen. They serve they serve like in the army, that kind of thing. So they're meeting wives over there and they're bringing their wives back. You can't stop that. So eventually it fell through and they had to eventually chop that down. So you have that going on. And I say that to say that it's only going to get worse, especially for the Swedish men, because I believe they actually have a law where half of their government has to be women or something similar to that. So all that's going to happen is you're going to get all these more and more policies put in place, punishing men. It's already bad as it is in the States where, like I said, they get, 50% of your, 50% of, when you get divorced, they take 50%. Some states, they have it where it's permanent alimony after a certain amount of years. I think like 10, 14, 15 years or something like that. So either way, the only reason I would say the feminists are a bigger threat is more so because they're trying to weaponize the government against the men versus like some of these other little underliers like TikTok women, the dating coaches and so forth. They're not willing to go that far. And then a lot of times, a lot of their talking points, it doesn't really hold them much merit. Not to say that the feminists, their words like hold that much up as well. Because as you can see in many of my videos, I kind of cut through a lot of the foolishness they kind of talk about. But I would say overall, they like the biggest one. So you guys tell me what you think. Leave your comments. Hit the thumbs up bell. Please hit the notification bell. And please subscribe if you never subscribed to my channel. Let me know what you think. And until next time, this is your boy, the Passport Bro Wingman, signing off.